The Every Point Sports Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in everyone to the Every Point Sports Podcast. I am Jack Stash. We've got the OldGamerGK Greg with us today. How are we feeling, Greg?
Oh, we're doing great. We're doing great. We got a couple good games on the docket this week. I know Jack knows, and you guys that follow us anywhere on Facebook or anything like that, or even watch the podcast, knows how much I killed it last week.
Yeah, it's been great.
Listen, I'm very open with my bets on what I do. I do very small bets. But if you guys even doubled what I do, which is $5 bets, you guys freaking made a killing. Because I made a killing last week. That means you guys made a killing last week. I was so stoked. I had to text Jack. I text Jack so many times last week.
Yeah,
and
you did.
We don't text each other too much. Maybe once or twice on a Sunday after the podcast during the games. But not too much. Guys, this is the second time this year that I pretty much went undefeated over the weekend.
Yeah, they were great.
It's crazy. So you know what that means? You guys need to listen. And we got something new over here. Where is it at? Right up here.
Is that a QR code?
Little QR code.
All right.
Scan that. Takes you right to the OldGamerGK, and you can catch every podcast on there, along with other stuff, gaming videos, card rip videos, and stuff. Speaking of gaming videos, then we'll jump back on the sports. 2 days straight, I have put in probably almost 24 hours into this new game, Arc Raiders. Me, my buddy Nick, and my buddy Clamps. I'm hooked. 24 hours and 2 days I put in on this game. So guys, jump over there, check out the new footage on that. We got away from Call of Duty a little bit, so we're trying out this new game everybody's playing. And yeah, I want to say I'm sucked. I'm sucked in. I'm addicted. And yeah, 13 hours and a half I spent yesterday playing the game. So yeah.
Oh my God, you were an addict.
Yep. I had the game going on the TV up here and the big screen right here, and then I had the gaming going on over here. So yeah.
Is this your cry for help? I don't.
But Joy will probably need cry for help. So.
Oh my God.
But anyways, back to sports. We got some good games on the docket this week. But like I said before, guys, if you guys want to win some money, you guys make sure you guys are watching the podcast. Whether Jack and I disagree on the games, we both bring up valid points, good stats for you to think about and make your own decision. So on that note, Jack, you got anything new?
Yeah, I just want to. We always touch on it a little bit, so I feel like it's fair to send some flowers. Penn State beat Clemson yesterday in a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't care about bowl games anymore. I don't care. They finished what they started, which is what you go to college and university for. You go there to get a degree so that you can use that in the real world, right? Starting and finishing something. It's a great big deal. And guess what? You might not get what you started and wanted to finish with. You might not hit that grand accomplishment. But if you started and you finished and you were able to get a job in that department, congratulations to you. Penn State started a football season. It did not end. They lost their head coach. They finished it with a coach they respected. Players finished at their positions. And they went out yesterday and they beat Clemson in a bowl game. Congratulations, not only to the Penn State football program, everyone that goes there and everyone that has finished and graduated at Penn State. You have a university that you should be proud of. You could stand up, wear those colors, and any other university that has pulled out of bowl games and didn't want to finish has sent a terrible message that'll be rippling across the country for years.
Yeah, I absolutely want to echo what you just said. Also, I want to give props to BYU. They could have pouted just like Notre Dame being left out. They're like, no, we're going to a ball game. I'm with you. These kids, you're setting a bad precedent with these kids, giving them an excuse in life. When things get tough or don't go your way, you can quit. No, you don't quit. You follow through. You muster through. You give it your best. And then if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you know what? You tried. You tried and you failed, and you try harder or you try something different next time. You know what, Notre Dame? Try something different next time. Schedule a little bit easier stuff. You guys cried so much. USC doesn't even want to play you guys anymore.
All the
USC is
greatest, by the way, all the greatest sports stories. Tom Brady was benched in his senior season. No senior gets benched if you're the starter as a junior. He was benched because Michigan was recruiting Drew Henson.
Henson,
And he
who was
took it on the
#1
chin.
recruit, and Henson said, I don't play, I will play baseball. That was his stronghold.
And he took it on the chin and said, well, I still want a degree from the University of Michigan, so I'm going to stay, and I want to help this football team. Michael Jordan, every interview he gives, he talks about being benched in high school because it's the most important part of his story, that he stuck with it. Those are the things that matter. By the way, Rudy, pretty great story.
Yeah.
Rudy did not quit. Maybe what you should do on that campus is just show that movie over and over and over to the people that are in charge.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say on this matter.
Yeah, back to the Brady thing real quick. He persevered so much that when they were losing, they would put him in, he would bring them back, and they would win. He had, I think, 4 comebacks that year, including the Orange Bowl, which I was at in Miami, played against my Bama. Came back, we were winning, went down, last second field goal to win the game. So, like, that guy, he's perfect. Like, he persevered so much. Just bring Brady in there to talk to Notre Dame people. Watch the Rudy movie. Bring Tom Brady in to talk. A Michigan guy talking to Notre Dame people. Let's see how that goes over.
Yeah, you're right. But so I that's what I want to do. I don't want to knock any other organization, but I do want to commend Penn State for doing the right thing for their students, for their athletes, and for their university. I know it's really easy to. It is. It's really easy to knock them for their past. But you know what? You can't live back there, right? Living forward, and you finish the season on a strong note. You beat Clemson. Congratulations goes to Clemson also for working hard and going and competing. And it's a 50-50. You got to compete. I got to compete. There's a winner at the end of the game. Dabo Swinney runs a fair program down there as well.
It's a good program up there. He really does. He so much that when Saban left, he was on my short list. I would have loved. He was a former walk-on for Alabama.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Dabo from Clemson was a former walk-on for Alabama. I believe wide receiver, if I remember correctly. So I'm a sucker for those type of stories. So, all right, we should get into our games here. We got a couple people in here. I just want to make sure we don't have.
The people are in here. We got 12:01. Kickoffs at 1:00. We gotta move through. We got people in here though. This is great. I love people in here.
I'm sorry. We got some new sound stuff, so I want to bring that up. Yeah, we got a heartbeat. And this is what I want to do for Jack's crazy rants right before he does them.
What do you mean? I don't rant crazily. Look at I'm passionate. I'm like Philadelphia Nation. That's what I am. I'm Philadelphia's forgotten son.
Nation.
I am. I'm Philadelphia's forgotten son. I don't do all of the extracurriculars, but I do wake up screaming. That's what my podcast should be called. Wake up screaming.
We got Jody in here. Hi. Loving the beard, Greg. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Joy wanted me to grow it, so I'm growing it. We'll see how it works out. All right, we got the first game on the docket this week. Jack, we got Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh is giving 4.5. Over/under is 35.5. Pittsburgh gets money lines at -218. Cleveland Browns is at +180. I mean, this is pretty easy. I mean, Pittsburgh's playing really good ball right now.
Yeah.
Cleveland's on the downside. Listen, Shador's the only story. Well, sorry, not the only story. Myles Garrett sack record and Shador is the only story coming out of there. We both know Savansky's gone after this year. This is a wash season, period, for them. Um, I like Pittsburgh here. It shouldn't even be close. 4.5. I'm not taking the points. I'll just take the money line with the parlay somewhere negative 218. Enough meat on the bones to still make money there.
Yeah, I like it. You know, how many sacks does Myles Garrett need, by the way? I just want to 2 sacks.
Yeah.
2 sacks. So I wonder if this game, is close or Pittsburgh has it in hand.
Listen, it's a division game. We all know Pittsburgh, Cleveland plays close. Pittsburgh, Bengals play close. We know that. That's just 2 bloodbaths. Throw the record out the door. That's why I'm taking the money line because I know Pittsburgh's going to win. But will they win by 14 or will they win by 3?
Okay, it's real simple.
Sure.
Pittsburgh wants to wrap up the division today.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. End of story. Baltimore won last night. That's all the motivation that Pittsburgh needed today, right? I mean, but here's the sidebar. I think that Pittsburgh's offensive line isn't very good.
No, it's real. No,
it's not really good, and this is why it's not really good because you're deploying Kenneth Gainwell as another receiver. He's good, but you don't want to run with him because he can't find any open space in your terrible offensive line. That's right where we're at, right? Arthur Smith is running 4 end-arounds a game to Jonnu Smith, right? His forgotten son. So I believe that, I think that Pittsburgh is going to win the game, but I also believe that Myles Garrett could have 2 sacks in the first half. And I know how much you love the fact that Brett Favre let Michael Strahan have it.
Oh, I can't stand that.
I know. And you're going to be even angrier today. My huge prediction is Myles Garrett gets 3 sacks today. And he gets the sack record because Aaron Rodgers knows the history between Strahan and Favre. And as long as he gets the victory, he'll kind of say to Mike, hey, why don't we be a part of it?
You know what? If that happens, I literally, and I'm sorry, Green Bay, but I want to blow you guys up. Because that's 2 Packer quarterbacks former Packer quarterbacks just giving the sack record away. I can't have that. My hairs on my freaking arms are standing up after you said that. No freaking way. That record is tainted before, and I don't want that record tainted again.
What time's that game on today?
Legitimately have it.
What time's that game on today?
1 o'clock game.
1 o'clock. I expect a text around 3:30 after the 3rd sack comes in of just exclamation points. And what's that emoji with the black wrap and the angry face? That's what I'll expect around 3:30 because it's happening. Aaron knows the history. He's very smart. And he's gonna lay down and he's gonna talk about it after the game, and it's gonna be this big spectacle, and it's gonna happen.
I hope not.
I know.
I hope not. I want this record to be legit.
It'll help though. Your beard will grow out even fuller. You'll just be like this.
Gray. You won't be able to see it on camera.
You'll be walking around with this big robust beard going, all right, I grew it out. I got so angry. I made that hair come out of my face. Pittsburgh wins on the money line, despite the sack record being broken today.
Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers. Seattle is giving 6.5. Over-under is 42.5. Seattle's giving, money line for Seattle is a negative 305. Money line for the Panthers is plus 245. This is one of my upsets of the week. I'm not saying Carolina is going to win, but I'm taking the 6.5 points. I feel better with another point on that. I feel better if it was 7.5. I feel very confident then. That's what it opened up at, 7.5. Should have jumped at it then. I didn't. But all you guys are saying, well, Greg, the Seattle's like the best team in the NFL or second best team in the NFL. You are correct to a degree, but you have to remember Seattle just played an overtime game last week and barely walked out. And they're playing the 49ers next week. possibly for the division. So one, tired from last week's game. Two, are they looking ahead to next week? I don't know. I'm just saying this could very well be a trap game for Seattle if you think about those two things I just said. But I'm not even going that route where I think where I'm taking the money line on the Panthers, even though I think the Panthers could walk out with this with a victory. I'm just taking the 6.5. I'll take the points with Carolina.
You do that. I'm doing kind of the same thing. I'm going to take Seattle on the money line. The one thing I do notice about Carolina, they have gotten, Bryce Young's obviously a smaller quarterback. He's got a fine arm, but it's not this world beater. But they found him large targets, right? Ted McMillan, that Coker kid, right? They're both really tall. They're big body targets. And the one thing that they do, though, is sometimes they rely on that body too much. They let the ball come to them.
Yeah.
And it's
they
a
don't
bit
catch
of
with their hands.
yeah, and McMillan's better than Coker, but Coker's been getting more of the lesser cornerback every week. So Young's been able to get to him. The problem in Seattle is you don't have a lesser defensive player. They come with clubs. I mean, they're swinging every single time. Fastball, curveball, they're swinging. And I just think that if you're going to let the ball come to your body, they're going to break your claws. Seattle's literally going to punch down, slam down. I mean, that's the type of defense that McDonald deploys out there in Seattle. Obviously, if you guys have watched the podcast, I said he was the defense coordinator in Baltimore for years. And obviously Baltimore's defense hasn't been as good without him. But Seattle, tick, 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 their defense has looked very good. And, Sam Darnold's done exactly what he's done last year. I just think Carolina's too young for this spot. I do. I understand the points. That's fine. But I'll take Seattle here on the money line. I think they are looking to next week, but there only is a next week if they win today. That's kind of the position they're in, right? So it's like do or die. What spot do you want to win? Do you want to win the division? Because you got a chance here. But if you lose to this team, there's no shot. I mean, San Francisco, you're in the wild card and you're playing all these games. If you win today for Seattle, you're playing for the division next week, but you're definitely in the playoffs. Winning, you're in. So I just think they're going to win this week. And we have that leads us to some other previews on games we have.
Yeah, Carolina also is playing for the division also. And they're at home. They play a lot better at home than on the road. We both talked about that briefly a couple podcasts ago. We compared them to early Cleveland team. So like I said, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying Seattle's going to lose here, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I would love if the line opened at 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it opened at 7.5, and it dropped to 6.5. I loved it at 7.5. Loved it at 7.5, and I should have jumped at it.
My whole thing is that if it opened at 3, I'd be more apt to sit here and go, all right, Greg, well, you know what? Let's really dig here. 7, 7.5, 6.5. That's still telling me that Seattle's got the team to beat this team by a field goal.
Well, to me, it means that that the Sharks they still love Seattle this year.
Yeah,
they think they're a strong team.
Yeah,
and they still think it's the same old Panthers. And I don't see the same old Panthers. I see a different Panthers team. I see a different Bryce Young team. I see a little bit more mature Bryce Young team. A guy that's throwing into his spots again. That was one good thing about him at Alabama. And Tua too. They were like Brock Purdy. They were great anticipatory throwers of the ball. Mm-hmm. They threw it to a spot. They knew where a receiver was going to be. And I didn't see that with Bryce Young when he came in an NFL. It's almost like, he was looking for that open wide receiver and try to hit him right in the hands instead of throwing it to a spot. And I think he's throwing it to a spot again. You're starting to see that come back to him. A little bit more accuracy coming. And it doesn't help, or it doesn't help. It helps dramatically when you have that Dwelling back there running the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's listen, Cowboys should never let him walk. He's playing hell of a game or hell of a season this year when they're rushing the ball. I believe one of the stats when they played the 49ers, when he rushes the ball 10 or more times, they were like 5-0 or something at that point, 4-0. So
I mean, Rico Dowdle's like, don't pay me that.
Dowdles. Yeah, Dowdles.
But he's like they say did this surprise you? They asked him plenty of times if his play this season had surprised him, and he said no. He go, I wanted to be in Dallas. They didn't want to pay me. He's like, so I'll take jobs somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a nice combination too between him carrying mid-season and now Hubbard having a little bit extra gas. I do like the team. I just feel like they're a great story heading to next year.
Mm-hmm. See, that's how I felt last year. They rattled off like 3-4 wins at the end of the year. They were like, all right, we should be better this year. And they had some hiccups in the beginning of the season, and now they're starting to play the way that we thought they were going to play in the beginning of the season. They're starting to play. And listen, that wide receiver that they drafted, McMillan, right?
Yeah.
McMillan? Yeah,
Yep.
listen, that guy is making all the difference. Well, you could see it when Bryce Young needs it, he's going to him.
Yeah.
Not afraid of big moments. Not afraid of big moments.
Yeah, that's two big players out of Arizona this year.
Yeah.
Bill
All right, next.
and Tet.
What's that?
Bill and Tet.
Yeah. All right, next we at the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Indianapolis Colts. Jags are giving 3.5. Over under is 48.5. Jags are negative 225 money line, and the Colts are at plus 185 money line. I'm actually surprised this isn't more towards 5.5, 6 points. So this is just showing me that they still think that the Colts can do something. Listen, Rivers is a great story, awesome story. It's just not going to cut it. I like the Jags here. Jags have been playing inspired football this year. That coach has them playing lights out. And I think one of the people that's missing him the most in the NFL is your boy Baker. Missing him so bad. Can't say enough about Cohen is his name?
Yeah, Liam Cohen.
Liam Cohen. Can't say enough about the job he's doing. Listen, he took a quarterback to where Jack didn't even think he belonged in the NFL last year, all right? To where he's playing to a Pro Bowl level right now. You know?
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence playing great.
Yeah, he really is. It just shows you how much a coach can make a difference. Look at Brad Johnson or Ben Johnson over in
Chicago.
at the Bears.
Yeah.
I was dogging him last year. He gets Ben Johnson. Look at him this year. Completion percentage still isn't good, but look at that team this year, and look at the Lions this year. What's the Lions going to be doing? They're going to be sitting at home. What's the Bears doing? They're going to the playoffs, possibly number 1 seed. Has a chance. I'm not saying they're going to get it. I'm just saying they're in the hunt for it.
Maybe Detroit should have hired Ben Johnson.
Makes you think, you know?
Don't think too hard because
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like a coach makes a huge difference for these players. For those of you guys that just say, "Oh, this guy's talented. He should be able to perform no matter what." That's not the way it is. You guys, you need somebody that's going to be able to draw up the plays for you, that's going to be able to build a system around you, that's not going to throw you into a system that you're not going to flourish in. We see this all the time in NFL, especially for early first-round picks. We're like, oh, they have all the talent in the world, this and that, but then they don't do something. Baker, he got thrown through how many teams before he ended up with Tampa? 3?
He's now been through in Cleveland alone. He was through eight offensive coordinators.
You know, I'm just saying,
which is great. Which
makes all the difference.
Which is, to me, I think we're a little interesting, right? Because I think what's going to happen with Baker going forward, right? I still think Tampa Bay is going to make the playoffs. So they're surprise. But I think if you look further into his career, I think Baker Mayfield's going to be either a quarterback's coach or an OC. Because he knows more football than anybody in the damn league. I mean, really. No, that's not true. Let me apologize to Phillip Rivers, since we're talking about his game. Phillip Rivers has walked in off his couch. And let's not, Joe Flacco did it. Joe Flacco is gifted. In fact, if Trevor Lawrence wants any kind of career, he'll look at what Joe Flacco's is. Joe Flacco came into the league. He was able to run. 6'5", big arm. Remind you of a guy? Maybe he's not blonde. But Joe Flacco and Trevor Lawrence are kind of built the same. And if you keep taking hits, you're going to be laying on the floor, Trevor. Look at Joe Flacco. Move when you need to. Take shots when you can. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence is starting to get there. I don't know what took him so long. Liam Cohen wanted to kill him in week 3, and which is why I believe the Urban Meyer experience didn't work, and the Doug Peterson was like, I'm done here. And they kind of, because the kid doesn't want, he's not that learner. I mean, I don't know what coach, maybe he needed somebody younger, to speak to him. And those were 2 older coaches, and they knew some of the lingo. Remember, Tom Brady at the end of his career hired a guy to keep him up on the younger lingo. Maybe that's stuff that Trevor Lawrence needed. I'm not really sure. But yeah, Liam Cohen's done a fantastic job. This line's at what, 5.5, you said?
3.5.
3.5. So, okay. So just to give you guys an update, we've been on this podcast now for what, 25 minutes. 45 minutes ago, when I was looking up lines, this line was at 5.5. Think about that. It was a 5.5 point line. I use Hard Rock. So even if Greg's line up in Pennsylvania, I'm down in Florida, even if his line was at 4.5, it's moved a point. I want you guys to think about that, right? Jacksonville is coming off an emotional victory up in Denver. Huge victory, right? Sealed the division for them. But let's not sit here and pretend like Phillip Rivers didn't throw for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns last week, because he did, right? And he's not the biggest armed quarterback. But I'll tell you what, he knows when Alec Pierce, 6'5", getting out of those breaks and where to deliver it. There's a lot of big player props out there for you fantasy guys. I just want to detail this. If you're looking for receivers and you got receiver problems, you could still be in playoffs. But if you have receiver problems, Alec Pierce is a start. If for any reason Michael Pittman Jr. is out there, you can start him. Those are 2 guys. Phillip's going to throw for over 270 yards again. Jacksonville's defense
I
is
don't
fine.
know, but listen, he played against a Niners beat-up defense. So I take that with a grain of salt, that game last week.
There's nothing worse
we
than
rushed we sacked the quarterback only 16 times this year. But to put that in perspective, Myles Garrett has 20 sacks this year. The Niners as a team has 16. All right, listen, I'm talking shit in my own team. The only reason why we're winning is because of our offense, and we're able to get stops in key moments. But listen, our defense is porous. I mean, we're playing 3-4 players on that defense that pretty much couldn't even start for any other team in NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And Mike Tyson was the knockout king, and then Buster Douglas got him because he was partying in Japan. A team that's not talented. San Francisco defense isn't very talented, but the problem, since they lost Warner, he's their leader. I get those things, but Jacksonville,
we had Ronaldo Green out that game. Listen, there are a number of injuries on that defense. We're starting 3rd, 4th stringers right now.
But Jacksonville's celebrating after what happened last week, and they're still celebrating.
They
should.
They handled Denver very, very well.
They should, but they're not going to get a guy that's going to run around or do all these other things that you're going to get a guy that's going to read you, reread you, and reread you. And this is going to be a real test for them, because Phillip's not going to move. And you're going to think, oh, geez, I'll just lick my chops. And all of a sudden, he's going to hit you with a 4-yarder. He's going to hit you with a 6-yarder. And he's playing a different game than what you're like, we handled Bo Nix. Bo Nix doesn't read like Phillip does. And that's why I said Baker knows a lot of offense. Phillip was running an offense in high school. He was running this exact offense, and now he's playing this exact offense. And I think he can trick Jacksonville enough where I'm taking the Colts with the 5.5. If you guys have to buy up, do it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville here. I'm not touching the Colts at all on this game. Even 5.5 sounds like, yeah, I don't know really what's going to happen with this game, but I do know Jacksonville's going to walk out with the win, which is why I'm taking the money line and money line only. This could be a 3-point game. This could be a 14-point game. I don't know. I mean,
I'll take fiery Phillip.
That Niners game was close all the way up until halftime. Once halftime, the Niners just, they just couldn't keep up. Does the same thing happen this week? I don't know. So that's why I'm just taking the Jacksonville on the money line, and I'm leaving it at that. Not getting cute with this game.
All right.
Jack likes the points. I like Jacksonville on the money line. So Jack likes the Colts with the points.
Yeah.
Next, we got the Patriots at the Jets. Patriots are giving 13.5. Over under is 42.5. Patriots are negative 1,000 money line. Jets are at plus 650 money line. This game, there's nothing there for us to even, no meat on the bones here. Money line 1,000, not touching it. I'm not touching 13.5 points. I don't care if the Patriots did lose last week to the Bills after having, what, a 21-point lead?
Yeah.
You know, sour taste in their mouth. You know, fact of the matter is, it's a division game. Patriots, Jets. Jets have looked like crap, and other times they look like they could beat a team. We said that about the Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins, they would beat the Dolphins. They ended up getting smoked by them. So on that note, I'm not touching this game. Patriots money line 1,000. I mean, nothing there on nothing. I think Patriots are going to win. That's all I got for this game.
If you want to have some fun, and we do oftentimes on the podcast, right? We like to have some fun. Look, I think that this spread should probably be around 11, 12 if the Jets were going to show up and play.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jets haven't showed up and played. They haven't showed up and given any heart. They haven't showed up and done anything. It seems like, almost that as it seems so bad that Aaron Glenn could be one and done. Oh, that doesn't happen. Didn't it happen last year in New England? Yeah, it did. And I just think that Woody Johnson, buckle up, everybody. I think Woody Johnson could be at the point where he's like, you know what? Where's that loudmouth Ryan at? Because you get to a point where the rope starts to tighten around the neck and you can't get coffee in New York anywhere. Right? Woody Johnson can't leave his fantastic apartment or you know what? You know what's the worst thing on the planet? Not playing bad golf as a millionaire. All right, because who cares? I'll just drop a ball. It's being made fun of about stuff I own. Hey, Woody, maybe you should call that Ryan guy. And they just make fun of every decision he's made after Rex Ryan was there. And I'm going to tell you, Rex Ryan wants the coach.
He wanted to coach that team before they hired Glenn.
Right.
He even on ESPN, he was pounding the table for
it. And I do think you're starting to get there. You got to at least sit there and go, look, maybe me and Rex had some differences. He could find 6 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Maybe me and Rex had some differences, but would he have gotten better out of Justin Fields or not played him at all? And as long as we're being honest, Tyrod's his guy. So I just think that the Jets are going to get crushed. I think this is going to look like a preseason game. That's my gut feeling. And I don't care who New England runs out there. I think New England could win this game like 38-13. And if that's enough points, then that's enough points. But I really like the Jets got smoked by the Saints. Mm-hmm. And I got to believe at this point, Vrabel started the press conference going, these are the guys that aren't playing. And he rattled them right down. They're not playing. So don't look for them. Don't ask me about them. I think that we have enough talent to walk out there and smash this team with my other players. By the way, I think Vrabel's smart enough to tell that his backups that this is a job interview for next season. This is a meaningful game. We want to win. Treat these last 2 weeks for like preseason next year. If I see something on tape, maybe you'll have to do less. Maybe this is an interview already. Like, I really believe New England's going to go up there and just absolutely leave Jets players on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I could very well see it. Again, I'm not touching this game, though. There's not enough meat anywhere for me to make any money off of. And I don't – anybody that listens to this knows I don't like double-digit spreads.
I don't either, but I just talked myself into New England. I'm taking the minus 13.5.
I mean, that's fine. I if anything, maybe take the points down, tease it down.
Be careful, guys. My mouth runs wild.
Possibility.
I'm
all right,
serious.
next.
I run wild.
Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Miami Dolphins. Bucks are giving 5.5. Over under is 44.5. Bucks are negative 250 money line. Miami is at plus 205 money line. Let's see here. We've seen what the Ewers experiment did last week for them. Not much, you know.
Hold on.
For
Let's
Miami,
pause this. Just for all the Miami fans out there, because I have them, in my inner circle right down here in Florida, right? Did Ewers before the game, Quinn Ew. I mean, it's easy to write that name terribly in a newspaper. Ew. Did Quinn Ewers even look like a football player? Before he put the pads on, he looked like a double-A baseball player. I went, oh, the pitcher for the Toledo Mudhens? No, that's what he looked like to me. He didn't look like if he was in a mall in Miami, would you go, oh, Quinn Ewers? No, he didn't. He struck me as a double-A baseball player that would carry the pack around and we're going to hit some balls today. Like a coach. Maybe he'd be a coach. He doesn't look like a football player. And Mike McDaniels put him in there. And I believe that they were kind of getting him ready the weeks prior to try to give him a fair look. And you're going to get him again today, and it's not going to look any better. I mean, you're not going to get a Malik Willis performance. I mean, God, you're not even going to get a performance like the Vikings quarterback gave you, which was a little bit better than the week before. I don't see it in Ewers. Tampa's really playing for something. McDaniel's just trying to prove that team competent and keep this a little tight for a minute. But to give Tampa -5 on the road is really interesting to me because they haven't played.
How beat up they are.
Well, let's get rid of the fact that they're really beat up. They haven't tackled another opposing player in 6 weeks. That's why they lost. Yeah, Baker threw that interception. Brother, they didn't tackle anyone. Mm-hmm. Baker can't tackle, too. He's got an oblique problem. I mean, so, I understand that Carolina beat them, but that defense has been porous. Mm-hmm. Miami, though, is going to be what gets you right because Quinn Ewers might throw a pass that plays right into a defender.
Yeah,
and then
last week, no
and then you hear one, right? You hear a smash, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, you almost remember, right? You walk into, Greg, we talk about this all the time. People return to restaurants that they had great times at, the smell, the atmosphere, the aura, right? If you miss 4 tackles in back-to-back weeks, you start looking around going, I mean, can I tackle anymore? I mean, it starts to creep in. And I saw 4 guys try to tackle one man last week. Missed them. And I went, oh, my God, they're dead. I don't care. Baker Mayfield threw that interception at the end. That's because him and Mike Evans haven't done anything passing-wise besides, their newborns back and forth. I mean, that's really what the only passing and receiving that's happened has been between the Mayfields and Evans at Christmas giving and child giving time. Okay, so they weren't on the same page. I mean, Evans has been in and out a lot of times, and maybe if that was a Buka, they would have read it better. I mean, it could have been anybody. Sterling Shepard, they played together forever. Shepard would have cut back in right where Mayfield threw that ball. So let's just erase that. He was guessing clearly. But I do think they handle Miami. Don't do the -5.5. Take it on the money line. I think it's 235. I took it already. They're just they're in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, I mean, they need to win to stay in contention for the division, stay in contention for the playoffs. If they lose this, it's pretty much over for them.
So there's your parlay, right? There's your fun parlay that I alluded to earlier. Take Tampa on the money line and take Seattle on the money line. Ta-da, right? Seattle needs the same thing Tampa does. Seattle wins, they play with the big boys for the big boy trophy. But that doesn't matter. Yeah, it does.
Well, no, they could lose. No, they could lose, and if the Niners beat them next week, we still take the division and have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Niners are the only team that controls their whole destiny for the first seed. If the 49ers win out and Seattle, and even if even if they can't win out because of course they're playing us, but if 49ers win out, we win the division, we win the number 1 seed. If Seattle beats us, loses this week, but beats us next week, they still have the number 1 seed. They still make the playoffs. They still win the division.
Well,
So
I
they
still
could
think
technically drop this game and still be all right as long as they beat us next week.
I just got a feeling that Carolina's kind of looking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that do not. I'm telling you, Bryce Young's a nice football player, and he's really developed and he's come along. But man, when the windows shrink, he does not hit them, and we've seen it. He doesn't hit the windows that shrink, and they're starting to shrink around this time. You know who found that out last year? The guy he's playing against. Sam Darnold had a nice year, and then when he got towards the end, the windows started shrinking a little bit, and he looked around and he went, "All right, I'm finally to a different level." And whether he was going to break or come back, he obviously didn't come back with the same team. But this year, Sam's hit better windows.
He has, but he's been the same old Sam too, though. He's had multiple games with 2 or more interceptions where they should have lost that. The only reason why they don't, because that Seattle defense.
Yeah, but I like this Sam though, because this Sam that throws an interception, he's like, all right, I threw an interception. Like I almost feel like the Sam that played for the Jets would throw the interception and it's the end of the world. My God, you feel like he's carrying an actual jet, dragging it across the runway. Then
He definitely doesn't let it bother him. He shrugs it off. No, you're definitely right with that.
Carolina, he got to play, but the defense was terrible. So then they figured out the offenses around week 4, week 5. To be quite honest, this is a wild statistic about Sam Darnold, is that he has through the first 4 weeks in every season at Carolina, he's like got a 3-1 record.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after that, he loses the next 5 or 6 because defenses go, okay, well, you know what? Their defense is bad. If we score the first touchdown, he's got to press and we'll take off on him. So now that he got a little bit of help in Minnesota last year, and he's got the same kind of help in Seattle. So let's just say Seattle and Tampa win today. That's my parlay.
Gotcha. I'm not sold on Seattle like you are right now. I'm just not. I just have a feeling. I just have a gut feeling. I'm staying away from that. I told you before I'm taking the points on that game, but I'm not. I'm staying away from that money line for that. I just have a feeling about Seattle.
Okay.
Let's see here. That was the Bucs and Miami we just did. All right, next we got the Arizona Cardinals against the Cincinnati Bengals. Cardinals are getting 7 points. Over/under is 52.5. Money line plus 275 for the Cardinals, negative 345 for the Bengals. I mean, this should pretty much be easy. Bengals, like they're not playing for anything. Arizona's not playing for anything. But it's at Cincinnati, cold weather. Joe Burrow's playing. Jamar Chase is playing. Higgins is playing. Kind of hard to pick against that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy win, really. You want an easy one? Take Cincinnati. I'm a little excited for Arizona, though. I hope that Gannon gets a chance to take the quarterback that he likes.
I do, too. I hope so, too. To be honest, I hope they choke as always. Because
I talked about it last year. I like what Gannon is as a coach. He wants to run. He wants to turn Arizona into a physical team. Right? He cares about how the metrics of football. He cares about how it works. So I think that's important. The other thing I like, if he could find himself a quarterback like a Will Levis. Will Levis is always in the gym. We never disputed that. And if he's always in the gym and he finds a guy who wants to run the ball and have an offensive line, Will Levis played in college for teams like that, Kentucky and Penn State. Wanted to control the line of scrimmage, move out from there. Levis's biceps ripple. He's in the gym. He doesn't have a game controller in his hand. So you get a quarterback like that you can, begin a reclamation project with. I think you could find some success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be a possibility. They do need a quarterback down there. We all know Kyler Murray is not the answer.
Out of the league.
Yeah.
He's out of the league.
I don't know if he's going to be out of the league, but he might be out of the league in 5 years. Maybe he might become a professional Call of Duty player. Who knows?
Who would sign him? I mean, God, who
Well, I
would
mean, the
sign
guy's
him?
still a talent. I mean, everybody said that also about Mac Jones. They said that about Sam Darnold. Who would sign him? These guys are garbage. You know, they get in the right system. They get a resurgence of their career. Like I would not be upset if the Niners ended up getting like a second round pick for Mac Jones, and we signed Kyler Murray as a backup because Kyle Shanahan has a track record of bringing these guys in and them succeeding as they didn't succeed in other places. Same thing with O'Connell. Like if he would go there as a backup, I wouldn't see a problem. But then if he say he signs with the Jets, I'd be like, oh no, no, same old Kyler Murray. They're going to be garbage. You know what I mean? If he gets in the right system, maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He goes into a place like a place like Miami, Jets. What's another team? The Raiders. I have no confidence in him.
Yeah, the only thing, like all those guys that you mentioned, right? Like we always kind of thought Darnold cared about football, right? With all these other, Mac Jones cares about football, right? Kyler Murray, the talent used to outshine if that the fact that he didn't care. Now you're sitting there going, dude, he doesn't care, and now the defenses are running. They found a DN that runs a 4-3 now, so it kind of catches up to him and shifts him back to the middle of the field. Like they figured out this running quarterback. And if that's all you are,
that's why you need somebody like a Kyle Shanahan or O'Connell or
you know,
O'Connell, something like that. A coach or a coordinator, a Cohen, somebody that can build a system around him to where he's not running, or if he is running, he has multiple options when he is running.
I don't think he's very vocal either. I think he's an introvert, which I don't think helps him.
No, I totally agree. He comes across like that, very soft spoken.
So let's talk about another quarterback that enjoys Call of Duty. Just quickly. Josh Allen enjoys Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, he used it as a team building tool. When Stephon Diggs got there, right, he had to pass all these, and they couldn't meet up and hang out and all these other things, right? This was what? COVID, actually.
COVID, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they couldn't hang out. But he heard that Stephon Diggs loved Call of Duty. So he thought that if they could join and be teammates on Call of Duty, that their communication would at least be down. They would know each other. That when they got to meet each other and play on the field and stuff like that, that they could kind of harness what they learned on Call of Duty and use it going forward. And guess what? It worked. It worked. It did work. He was great for 3 years, started to get banged up, and then obviously he's doing fine in New England this year, right? I mean, not as many touchdowns as you want, but he's probably going to be staring at 1,000-yard season.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is that if you use the thing that you love as a team-building tool for others, great. If you use it to escape others, you'll fail.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right.
I think that Call of Duty can work, not the way he uses it. Like he could play with coaches. That way coaches got to understand what he would think in the heat of battle. But he doesn't do that. He uses it and hides in his room and whatever in the dark, or I don't know how he does it, but it doesn't work.
I believe he streams if I remember correctly.
So he picked on 12-year-olds
after he got so much slack.
Picks on 12-year-olds in their mother's basement. Great. Get rid of them.
They pick back, so you have to pick at them too.
Oh my God. What's next,
I get so much trash talk to me by these kids, it's ridiculous. Like it doesn't even sound like, excuse me, that their balls even dropped yet, and they're talking shit to you, like stuff that your mom would roll over in her grave listening to. Like, are you kidding me? They just said that to you? Yeah,
I'd be like, meet me in the park. I'll kill you.
Yeah, here's my address. Come find me. All right.
Do you like
next.
scary movies?
Next, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. Saints is giving 1.5. Over under is 39.5. Saints is money line's -122. Tennessee's at +102. This could be definitely a very interesting game. That it's 1.5 is pretty crazy. especially with how the Saints has looked the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is a tough gun. This is a tough one. Really is. But I am actually going to go with Tennessee on this.
Okay.
I'm not betting this game. I'm not touching this game. But yeah, I think Tennessee. This is a game that Tennessee actually wins. They have looked improved the last 3 weeks. Tennessee has.
Mhm.
As much as Jack says Cam Ward is not an NFL quarterback, they have looked a lot better the last couple weeks, last 3 weeks. Their defense have been better. It all started with that Cleveland game. It's like they got a little bit of confidence with that game. So yeah, I think the Tennessee Titans is going to win this game. Listen, the Saints the last 2 weeks have looked really good. They've been spoilers to 2 of my picks the last 2 weeks. I picked against them. I'm picking against them again. Third time's the charm.
What do I always say about Tennessee? Fantastic country music. And I got to stand by that. And no, Cam Ward's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He is by default. He's not very good. And my only thing here is I agree that, Tennessee's in a good spot. And if you want to take them with more points, I would do that. But we always joke about how old Tyler Show's, 37 years old. He's not, but he's 28.
Mm-hmm.
And due to injuries, he sat in college football and redshirted and all these other
I think he was
extra
in college football 7 years, I think it was.
Yeah, a couple extra sessions. That's how we'll put it. But I think that adds to experience, and he's starting to get some confidence playing. And Chris Olave could have sat this week, but he's deciding to play. And I think he wants to play because he wants to get more cohesion with Show.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's starting to believe in Show. I think New Orleans starting to believe in Show. So
I agree. They are.
And I think that being 20, if he was 23 or 24 and had all this extra athleticism and didn't go through the ups and downs of injuries, I think he'd sit there and go, well, this is just a regular game and we can drop this one and see what next season starts to look like. But I think the 28-year-old knows the time, the sand in the bottle is starting to drain out. And if he can win as many games as possible, it'll solidify his spot for next year. I think he gets it anyway. But I just think that he's more experienced and he's a smarter, better quarterback than Cam Ward. Not more athletic, but I think he's a smarter, better quarterback. And the balls he's been throwing over the past couple weeks, he barely looks like he's trying and it flies out of his arm. That's something we can all admit. The eye test is passed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take New Orleans on the money line.
Listen, he was good for he like you said, he went through the ringer. The only reason why he was in college for so long because of injuries. The fact of the matter is that he was a very good quarterback in college, and that was the reason why he kept getting chances upon chances upon chances, and he just so happened, just injury bug over and over and over, just bad luck. When he's healthy, I believe that he is going to be a good quarterback for you. If I am the Saints with that injury history, it's something that I'd be very scared moving forward. But as far as 1-2 games this year, looking through an eyeglass, listen, the guy's been playing very good the last couple weeks. Since he's gotten his shot, he's gotten better and better and better. I just think this is one of those games that they drop. Little confidence, getting better, little bit bigger head, running into Tennessee, who's playing a little bit better ball. Listen, both of these teams are horrible. Nobody's going to watch this game unless you're a fan. You know what? Fans of these teams aren't going to watch this game.
How dare you? I'm watching.
I'm just saying.
I already bet on this game. I bet on the Saints. So
okay, well,
I know because I did for the same reason.
Titans, but
again, I don't Phil Rivers, not the sexiest. Tyler Show just kind of delivers a nice ball. I think Cam Ward's going to need to get to the offseason to see what the mistakes look like because I do believe, and again, awesome athlete, great arm, but he doesn't anticipate. And without the anticipation, as Greg says, that's what the NFL is. It's an anticipation league. It's a guessing league. For instance, the guy we were talking about earlier, Baker Mayfield guessed wrong last week. Everybody went, wow, what a terrible interception. Actually, it would have been a great throw if he guessed correctly. But on that choice route, it was a wrong guess. very sorely. But I mean, if you looked at the ball, how it was thrown, perfect spiral, very fast, great spot, bad guess. So you have to be able to anticipate. And Cam Ward's waiting for the guy to get open and then throws it. Not going to work here, folks. And Tyler Show, no, it is. But Tyler Show's not really a rookie. Like you said, he's seen 7 years on and off, whether it be tape. I mean, listen, man, they want you in the locker room if you're injured. So you got plenty of tape time. In fact, you know as well as I do, I've been injured, soccer and stuff. I hate having to sit there and just watch tape after tape, corner kick after corner kick, trying to find out how this guy maneuvered, why they put this tall guy here, why I should have elbowed, all these other things. You get annoyed and want to play. And I kind of think that's where Show is. And I think Cam Ward will be there after this off season. We're hoping.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see. Next, we need to get through these, getting close to 1 o'clock. We got New York Giants at the Raiders. Giants is giving 3 points. Over under is 40.5. Giants are at negative 166. Raiders are at plus 140 money line. It's another tough game to pick. There's a few of them this week. I'm ultimately going to go with the Giants. I'm going to go with the young guys here. With Dart, I think he can do just enough to get by this game here. This is talk about one and done. I think one and done for Pete Carroll with the Raiders. I don't see him surviving after this year. They're an abysmal team this year. Not even close. You and I thought that they would be something decent this year. We talked about it preseason. Getting Gentry as a running back. Pete Carroll likes to run the ball. You got Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator. I forget who they brought in as a defensive coordinator, but it was another name. We thought it was going to be a pretty decent team. No, listen, they got a lot of holes to fill. Giants have a lot of holes to fill, but I think they found their quarterback. Or if they didn't find their quarterback, they found a quarterback for somebody else, and they'll take their quarterback this year. There's still a lot of debate whether they're going to keep Dart or go after the Indiana quarterback this year. We'll see, but I like the Giants this game.
See if I can work this bridge. So remember when remember a long time ago when it was the Big East college basketball? I mean, it was the big, you would say, Sarah, right? All the UConn, Georgetown. It was the Big East. And you had two big players when I was growing up was Ray Allen and Allen Iverson. There, I've dated myself. But they were awesome players, right? And I'm using this, right? Ray Allen, when he got to the league, was on the Milwaukee Bucks with Glenn Robinson, and he was Batman some nights and he was Robin other nights. As he got older, he was just this Robin sharpshooter player. Ray Allen worked everywhere. In Boston, in Miami. Ray Allen, you needed him, he was going to give you that special what he offered to the table. Allen Iverson worked in Philadelphia. End of story. He either worked or did not. He could not play Robin whatsoever. My point is here, Chip Kelly either works or does not.
Oh, absolutely.
It's insane. It's uncanny. At Ohio State, worked. Oregon, wow, worked. Philadelphia, what?
It worked. He was 10-win seasons.
I know, but it worked and then it just dropped. San Francisco, woof, right?
Horrible. Yep.
Just horrible. And you've heard awful stories about when it doesn't work either. And I believe all of the stories. I believe the good stories and the bad stories. Chip Kelly, unfortunately, works or doesn't work. I don't think it's Pete Carroll. I think Pete did the same thing that he did when he got out of college the first time. When he got out of college from USC to Seattle, right? He knew all the college talent. And I think this time he went, okay, I'm going to grab a guy that knows all the college talent. Chip Kelly's seen everybody. He's traveled everywhere. He knows everybody, right? So they went with their draft plan. Everybody got brought in, and he went, oh, shit. It was a total error on Pete Carroll to hire Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly did not work there. And Just like I kind of think it was an error, and I'm not a Brian Dable guy, but you finally got it right. I think New York finally paired his character, his moxie with players like him.
Mm-hmm.
And they started looking lively. And then they fired him. That didn't make much sense to me. You only fire Brian Dable if you don't like what he's done with the players that you've given him. You gave him Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Not really guys that work with him, his personality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Daniel Jones is very quiet. And we find out that Saquon Barkley is more of an artist than he is a running back.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jackson Dart and Scattaboo, both meatheads. Brian Dable, kind of the same type of guy. And you finally made a competitive team. And then you went, whoa, we're winning a lot here. We'll see you later, Brian. They fired him. And Jackson Dart needed him because he's played awful since you got rid of him. He wasn't ready to take on New York City. He wasn't ready to be a Giant. He needed the coaching. He needed the guy that interviewed him, the guy that brought him in, the guy that said, I'll take care of you. He needed him, and the Giants fired him. So I think that, this is a tough game to call. I would be comfortable taking the team that has the points here. So the Raiders are getting the points?
Yeah. Yep.
Give me the Raiders, because I kind of feel like they didn't just let some air out of that balloon in New York. I feel as though they popped it, and all those players are like, you know what? We're out of here. And I do believe it's important to know that there is a little looming Tom Brady watching everything that the Raiders do still.
Mm-hmm.
That matters, I think. I'm sorry. I think it does.
If anything, I think it puts a little too much pressure on the Raiders as
Maybe.
opposed to letting them play freer. Yeah, all right. I like the Giants here. Jack likes the Raiders here.
I do.
Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Buffalo Bills. Eagles are getting 3.5. Over/under is 44.5. Philly is at plus 136 money line. Buffalo's at negative 162 money line. All right, listen, we got two good teams mashed up here. I think this is our marquee of the game of the week with these two teams. Listen, Buffalo got down 21-0 to the Patriots last week. Came screaming back with Josh Allen. But Eagles, I think you can't do that against that Eagles defense. As much as you want to say about the Eagles and how dysfunctional they are, they're still a winning team. They still have a very good offense. They still have a very good defense when they want to, when they play like it. Last week, Hurts looked like the quarterback that he looked like the last couple years, as opposed to a quarterback that everybody's saying can't throw the ball. I think that continues this week. I do like Philadelphia this week. I will take I'll take the money line on this plus 136. I'm not worried about the points. Enough money for me to make some money here. Enough line here for me to make some money.
Yeah, Buffalo's a favorite, and they've been a favorite for weeks. They've been really a betting favorite for weeks, and
absolutely. Well, they're everybody's saying they're a Super Bowl quality team.
Nobody likes Philadelphia. To me, it's difficult. And by the way, here's the thing: bad weather. Josh Allen on not a great foot. If he slips, gets stepped on, I'll take Philadelphia against all of my gut. No, give me Buffalo. I switched.
Okay.
I switched. Give me Buffalo on the money line. I just think when you're destined, you're destined. They got to believe that they can beat two good teams in a row. Hasn't happened all year. In fact, the only team that's gone out there and clobbered teams, I posted it yesterday, Fantasy Farm Sports. Think about, you might not like them, but there's a little Baltimore Ravens to this team. The Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Chiefs when they needed to win. Weeks before that, when Buffalo was on a tear, they beat Buffalo. By the way, both games on the road. And then yesterday, Chargers. Goodbye. And people just, well, who's the best team in the AFC? Houston? Anybody?
Mm-hmm. Very well could be Houston. Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
with
after
that,
that 0-3 start, they rattled off some good wins.
yeah, what's the only Houston, we have a problem. Houston is a damn problem.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody they face, they wreck. That's Mahomes, that's Allen, that's Herbert. Who else do we have to beat to get some respect?
Mm-hmm.
I say it
That
every week.
defense is nasty. That defense travels, plays well at home, plays well away. No, that defense is good.
I had to bring it up because we talk about Buffalo every week, but a Super Bowl, we would say it's a dark horse, but like they beat all the teams we talk about going to the Super Bowl so far.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be mentioned.
I'm not sold on the Bills. I think they're a shell of themselves this year. I'm banging on the drum that, listen, if they don't go at least to the AFC Championship game, like they need to think about hiring a new coach down there.
Yeah.
Like seriously, you have if not the best quarterback in the league, the second best quarterback in the league. You have the best quarterback, and you can't make it to a Super Bowl.
Oh, by the way, I would like to. Do we have another?
And a good running back. Like,
I would like to call for personally. I would like to call for the firing of Nick Wright on every single network. No, because of what he said. He said there should be an asterisk on on any team that wins the Super Bowl this year because the Chiefs aren't in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think you should have a job anywhere because the Chiefs weren't good. All the teams, as I just mentioned, lots of teams went out there this year, worked very hard and beat them. And you think there should be an asterisk because what? Your God Mahomes and your Chiefs team wasn't good enough? I don't think you're qualified any longer to give sports takes. So I'm calling for your firing. I am. I'm not joking either.
All right, we need to hurry up and get through these because
Sure,
I'm trying to do my bets as we're doing this. And
I'm gonna get live ones in.
I don't have time. I'm not gonna have time.
That's okay. Go ahead.
All right, next we got the Chicago Bears at the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers. Bears are getting 3.5. Over under is 51.5. Bears are at plus 160. Money line, Niners are at negative 190. 192 money line. I think this is going to be a way better game than what we thought it was going to be in the beginning of the season. When I looked at it, I was like, oh, this is going to be a cupcake game. This game actually scares me. That Bears team is playing very, very good. But the fact of the matter is they're winning all their games at the end of the game. They need a onside kick. They need a 2-point conversion. They need this. They need that. They need help to win these games. If they were winning these games handily throughout the game and just a few lead changes here and there, I'd be more entitled to say, all right, this Bears team is for real. Right now, I just think they're getting lucky. Like, plain and simple. I'm not saying that because they're playing against my 49ers. I'm just saying that if you look at their overall wins and how they've won, they needed some luck on their side. Fact of the matter is, listen, Caleb put in the right spot. He's delivering that ball where it needs to be, online and on time. This team really does scare me, but I think this Niners offense is playing lights out. I think Purdy is finally playing beyond that injury. He has a lot more velocity on that ball. He's able to get it up and over those linebackers now. He showed to the last two games. I'm not taking the points here. I'm just taking the straight up winning, the money line, negative 192. Still enough there for me to make some money. I don't know if this is going to come down to a field goal, a missed field goal on their part or what, but I just think the Niners walk out of this with the win. I think the Bears' luck runs out on this game. But I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I think it's going to be a good game by both sides, some scoring done. I know it says 51.5. I'd have to really think about that over-under on that.
I love that you said that because I had a score in my head that beats all this stuff. Ready?
Yeah,
Niners win. And I got the score for you. 28-24. That was what I had in my head. You went through all that stuff, and I went, God, it's going to be 28-24. Chicago will be driving. They won't get lucky. Some ball Caleb will throw because he throws on the run, but they end up dirting sometimes. And I feel like he'll think there's a little bit more pressure than there really is. San Francisco doesn't put pressure on the quarterback. We talked about 17 sacks all year, but he'll field blitzes. I feel like San Francisco and Saleh bring some blitzes. By the way, Saleh could suit up and play for that defense. That's how bad they are. And that's more of a, but anyway, he'll bring blitzes to try to throw Caleb off his mark. That's when Caleb gets bad and tends to run and dirt them. And if he waits to do that, I think they'll be in good shape. Right on that final drive, he'll bring a cornerback blitz or something that Caleb won't be quite ready for. I don't know if you'll have Roma Dunze today or as well. So that's usually his safety blanket wide receiver. He likes finding him in spots, and I think they have a good relationship. Yeah, 28-24, San Francisco. Take them on the money line so you don't have to sweat. Chicago's very good though.
Absolutely. There's one thing that I do like the matchup is Loveland against the 49ers linebackers. Winners, as much as I want to say about his tackling or lack thereof, his coverage skills are really good. I mean, he had a pick six last week. He's fast for a linebacker, so he can cover Loveland, which I like a lot. And Beathard is back in full health, our other linebacker that took over for Warner. So I do like that matchup. 49ers, very underrated corners, but I believe Renardo Green is still out this week. Niners defensive line is horrible as far as rushing the passer. Bears do like to run the ball, so we'll see about that. I do like Swift to have over 80 yards rushing this week. That's one of my prop bets, 80 yards rushing. Everybody's like, well, why not 100? Don't get crazy. Let's go with 80. I forget what the odds were, but they were nice enough for me to take them. So yeah, I'm taking the Niners here. Again, I think it's going to be a very good Sunday night game. Next, we got the Monday night game. We got the LA Rams at the Atlanta Falcons. Rams are giving 7.5. Over under is 49.5. Rams money line negative 425. Atlanta is plus 330. I mean, this is pretty easy. Rams are one of the best teams in the NFL. As much as we want to say about Atlanta's roster having pieces there, I don't know if it's coaching there or what, but that roster did not perform like it should have this year. So on that fact, I'm just taking the Rams very easy on that one.
So here's some breaking news for you. The Atlanta Falcons are going to be completely, totally revamped. The reason why is Matt Ryan. This is the breaking news. This is why you stick around. Matt Ryan is headed to Atlanta to have a conversation with upper management about joining the team. Not the Falcons again, but being a part of the brain trust in Atlanta. That's a Boston college education. Matt Ryan's very smart. Raheem Morris. We'll have you on the podcast. You could talk about your time in Atlanta and how you failed your second opportunity in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's just the way it's going to be. It's not bad. It's embarrassing. You were competitive for a second. You didn't have a backup game plan besides Penix. So, Kirk Cousins, I don't like him. It doesn't matter. No one cares about, no one cares about your feelings about a guy. You have to go out there and win games and have your team prepared, and you didn't do it. So, that's that. Nobody had any tape on Kirk Cousins except for 2 years ago, and you didn't have him prepared to play. And then once you got him prepared to play, you started winning again. Well, whose fault is that? Kirk Cousins' fault? Nope, he wins. You lose. Raheem Morris is out. I can't wait for it. Matt Ryan will come in. They'll find a better coach. Atlanta will be competitive again, and we can finally talk about them positively instead of in this light.
Listen, if you are a whatever coordinator, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, getting your shot in the NFL as a head coach, you damn well better make sure whatever your specialty is, that side of the ball on that whatever team you took over is the best on that team. So if you're a defensive coordinator coming in from a team and getting a head coaching job, you better make sure if your offense isn't that great, you better make sure you have a hell of a defense because you know what? You got hired because you're a defensive coordinator because of your defense. Like I say that Staley, when he got the job with Chicago or with the Chargers, same thing. Just horrible on that side of the ball. Raheem Morris, that side of the ball. We see these with these coordinators coming in, doing different things, and their side of the ball is garbage. You got hired because of your particular skill sets in defense or offense, whichever one it is. You damn well better make sure that you are doing your job on that side of the ball, and then leave the other side to your coordinator. Let him do his job.
Yeah.
That's all I got on that one.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, it's over.
Yeah, it's definitely over there. Again, we'll see what happens down there. They have a lot of pieces down there, a lot of young pieces too, offense and defense. I know Pittman's probably out of there, or Pitts is out of there this year. After this year, his contract's over. He's going to go somewhere, and I pray to God it's the 49ers. But we'll get to that in the offseason. I would love to see how Kyle Shanahan could come up with an offense having that particular guy in that tight end. Like, he's a physical freak. Like, we talked about it when he was coming out of college for Florida. Like, we thought he was going to be unreal. But unfortunately, he hasn't been with anybody that can untap his talent.
The worst part about it is that to me, right, the worst part about Kyle Pitts is that teams still want him to be a tight end when he doesn't block.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when he came out of the combine, just quickly, he came out of the combine, he ran the tight end drills, he beat everybody because they were hilarious. And then he decided to show how great he was by running the wide receiver drills. And he came in second place in 90% of the drills. And he came in second place to Jamar Chase in wide receiver drills. Why are we running him at tight end? It's if you don't want to pay him, that's fine. I get it. I totally get it. You just don't want to get him the right numbers so that you have to give him money. But don't pretend like you want to win. Don't do that. We know you don't. It's easy to sniff out the losers. I do it every single day. And we give them to you, right? Cleveland, loser. Tennessee Titans, loser. Atlanta Falcons, Raheem Morris, loser. I mean, it's very simple. Notre Dame football, loser. I don't care. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me what kind of brand you want to put out there. My job, much like Charles Barkley's, is to commentate on what your direction is that you're moving in. Right? If you can take 9 steps in a basketball game now, get rid of dribbling. I don't care. I'll call it what it is. Oh, but they're gathering. No, they're not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not putting the product that people are expected out onto the court, out onto the field, out into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say for the rest.
That's it. I'm sorry. I was just getting the rest of my bets in here, guys. Got the 1 o'clock's in. Even though they already started, we got some quick scores. We got Cleveland up 3-0. We got the Colts up 3-0. We got the Patriots up 7-0. And we got Cincinnati up 7-0.
Perfect.
Some quick scores here. Quick scores. All right, guys. That's about it, guys. As always, catch us here every Sunday. We are here for your best sports news. Right now, we're just concentrating on football. But once football is over, we're going to be going into our basketball and then our baseball season when it starts. So yeah, we're get super excited for that, and that's about it. Again, guys, sorry, should have mentioned this in the beginning of the podcast. I hope everybody had a great holidays. Hope you guys had a great time with your family. I hope everybody got what they wanted. Jack had a great Christmas.
I did, but I have no new subscribers. So that would make my Christmas. It's really all I asked for. I'm at 169. Let's go to 200. That's all I want.
Nice. All right, guys, jump over there. Subscribe. Remember, guys, subscribe. Watch the videos over at Fantasy Farm Sports, OldGamerGK. We are over on YouTube. I'm also over on Twitch. Make sure you check out Fantasy Farm Sports over on Facebook also. And on that, guys, as always, Be excellent to each other.